Good afternoon, everybody who's joining us on Facebook, and magandang hapon to everybody who's joining us on Kumu. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Yona, the EVS founder, as well as the founder of Kaya Services. So for today's EVS episode or EVS show, we're talking about our discussion is about Usapang Kahusayan. So this is all about excellence talk. So these are it tends to be the topics where sometimes it's a little bit uncomfortable to talk about, but it's something that we're all exposed to. So this is something that I've had it on my mind as something that I wanted to be able to discuss openly, because it's something that we should be able to learn from. And I thought that the best person that I could be speaking and discussing this freely with is Martine de Luna, who is a leadership mentor, a transformational coach, and she's part of my personal success team. So super excited that she is my co-host. So without further ado, I would like to welcome Martine de Luna.
Yay! Hey, Yona.
Hi. How are you?
Hi, good afternoon. Oh, good evening to you. Good afternoon. I'm doing well. Yeah.
That's good. Well, thank you again for being my co-host for our episode Usapang Kahusayan. I know that
so exciting.
Yeah, we've actually been talking about this for quite some time now, right? This was part of our discussion for 2020, and I'm super excited that it's actually live here in 2021, which is a great reminder in terms of what we manifest and put out into this world. So anyway,
Absolutely.
today's episode, this one's an interesting one, right, Martine?
Super juicy.
Well,
it can be very sensitive for some people, but it's actually when you allow yourself to talk about, you bring these to the light, that we can create successful steps forward, healthy steps forward.
Exactly. And I think that's what it is, right? I think what's important is that we acknowledge whenever there's some form of a challenge or a problem, it's important that we acknowledge that it's there, and that way we're able to then face it and find a way to solve it, to fix it, or perhaps just learn from that particular lesson. So this is the reason why we wanted to discuss this, because we wanted to bring this particular thing to light. And the one that we're actually talking about, everybody who's watching us, is like discipline or lack thereof. So I suppose we should describe what we're talking about in terms of that discipline. So I suppose for me, I suppose we could talk about what we personally think discipline is. And I think for me, it's about creating that boundary for myself, so that I'm within, either acting, behaving, speaking within a particular boundary that I've set for myself, which will, within those boundaries, I'm then able to ensure that I'm able to be behaving or working or being at my optimum. I suppose that's what you could call it. What about for you, Martine?
Yeah, so for me, discipline is really, I like to frame it very simply: everything in its place and everything at its time. So it's kind of like the declutter mentality, right? It's like when you have a place for everything and everything in its place, then there's no confusion. Everything's very clear. Things get done a certain way at a certain time. So that's kind of like how I frame discipline. Yeah.
Yes, amazing, exactly. And see, this is the reason why, everybody, just for everyone's fun fact, this is why I invite Martine, is because she puts things simply. It's always simple. It's so straightforward. But doesn't that allow you to get further, or allow you to just communicate? When things are just simple and not overcomplicated, the message just comes across, right?
Right. When you think about it, everybody is actually like a 10-year-old, right? And so how I've come to like do things, I think in my home or with my clients is, if this was a 10-year-old and I look at my son who's 10, oh my God, he's 11.
Wow.
Okay, so he's 11, but let's say he was 10. How would I explain what I do to him in a way that he will understand so that he has respect for it? So I've been able to explain that mommy, what she does is she helps other mommies to also eventually have more time with their kids, because mommy teaches them how to make all the things easier, all the things that they do easier, right? So for him, he's like, that's great, that's what she does. And so discipline can be like that too. Discipline is just being very clear about the goal that you have, the corresponding action that's required for you to meet that goal, and the mindset for you to take that action, right?
Exactly.
So very clear, simple steps, right? And that's actually why we lack discipline, because we don't know those simple steps.
Yeah.
And we have no framework for it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so and the reason why we're bringing this up is because, with Empowered Virtual Services, or also known as EVS, we're trying to bring these to light, because it really, discipline or lack thereof, it is something that we experience, or actually everybody experiences this, and
everybody.
Culturally it's so prevalent in our culture. So we decided that this would be a great topic to talk about, because as a remote worker or as a virtual assistant, it is something that is imperative for our role, and imperative in our success, for longevity in our role. Exactly. So in actual fact, Martine, it's not even just our career. It will allow long-lasting relationships, right?
Yeah, because discipline, everybody, it's really a principle. And in my work, I like to call it the masculine principle, right? Yeah. So basically, it's something that grounds you. Discipline grounds you so that you can get done whatever it is that you are wanting to get done. So wanting to do something is desiring something. And you can call that the feminine part of you. I want this, I feel like this, I want to do that. All of that is it's just wishes. It's just like air. But discipline is when you anchor it and say, okay, let's make that real. Let's hit that goal for real. Let's hit that desire for real. Let's make it like a physical reality right now. So you need both. Because if you're just disciplined and you don't know why, that also causes things like burnout, and like, I'm a failure, and why am I working, and why am I in this job? So there has to be both that aspect. So a clear intention and emotion, and then a specific and aligned action.
Yeah,
that's really discipline. Yeah.
Yeah, and I absolutely love that. I mean, even though there are moments, admittedly, where sometimes you do want to say no, but it's that it's something that we've grown up with, like that cultural aspect of us, where we've grown up to say yes, even though sometimes we actually want to say no, right?
Right, and that comes from what we were talking about earlier yesterday, is this culture of wanting to have approval all the time, like, good job, or you did it, right? We crave that, and so a part of us, I always call it like the invisible part of us. There's an invisible part of us that believes that we have no choice.
Yeah.
Right. I have no choice because, I'm a nice person, and a nice person will just say yes, because saying no is being selfish, and, all of those things. Again, it's just the story that we tell ourselves. It's that invisible part of us that affects the physical part of us, the decision making, the saying yes, the saying no. Yeah. And so I believe that sometimes we say yes because we're really not aware of what we want. So going back to earlier, being very clear about the outcome that you want will actually help you to say yes or no. It helps you with discerning whether you're going to say yes to an opportunity or no to it. So clarity of why you do something is really important in discipline.
Yeah. And, you know, whilst it is something that is, you know, I guess something that we've learned or we've been born into since we were small, because we've always been told, you know, don't talk back to your elders or don't speak back to your elders. So, you know, it creates this feeling that we're not actually able to, you know, say anything or you know, push back to anybody who's in an authoritative role. Yeah. So in your role as a remote worker or a virtual assistant, you kind of feel like, oh gosh, am I supposed to, can I say no? Because you've always known to kind of just not say anything. And so we are now telling you it's okay to say no. Yes. Especially if you actually don't know how to do something. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, I have a story around that, right? So I have a story around me. So if I can share this, you know, if anybody can relate, just leave it in the comments. But I used to just say yes to every client. You know, somebody would say, hey, I want to work with you. And then I would just simply say yes, because I thought that was my job. You know, I said, you know, and at that time I was a copywriter. So I was writing copy. I was writing, you know, websites for people, things like that. And I would just say yes. I said, so my filter, if I had one, I don't think I did, was, okay, they need somebody to write some content for their website and their blog. So I'll say yes. But I didn't consider things like, where is this person based? What is their lifestyle? What is their income? What are the things that are important to them? I didn't have that. And so I would just say yes to every client. And then I realized I'm working like 14 hours a day because I can't say no. And I'm not filtering the kind of client I want to work with. So I was attracting all sorts of clients, like clients who would just message me at 3 a.m. in the morning when I'm sleeping. Wow. Clients who wouldn't know how to respect my boundaries, because guess what? I didn't have any boundaries. I just said yes all the time. And that didn't become clear to me until I learned about, you know, that you can create boundaries, that you can really create healthy structure for your virtual assistant business, for your writing business, for whatever business that you have, so that you can be more proficient and efficient, more professional. Yes. And so what I learned there, and through a lot of trial and error, was it's okay when you feel like it's a no between you and the client to say no. Because guess what? If you do not say no to a misaligned collaboration or to a misaligned client, you will be unhappy and they will be unhappy. Correct. Right? You will be unhappily working. They will be unhappily accepting your misaligned work because you are not in a healthy space of, you know, content generation or, you know, service, whatever service it is you're providing. And like I said, everything is energy, right? Yeah. And so the energy that you put into that client relationship is going to affect every single task moving forward. So if somebody is, so if a client, if you, and again, I want to be clear, it's on us to really, you know, establish the boundaries. If you feel like a client is overstepping on your time, say so. Sir, ma'am, I'm actually asleep at that time. When I get your message, I will not be able to see it until 8 a.m. my time, 7 p.m. your time. Simple, right? Yeah, but we're afraid to do that, right? But it starts with the smallest things. Like I was saying in the live stream last night, it starts with the smallest action. Being able to feel safe, to give yourself permission, right? Mm-hmm. So safety is a huge aspect. And, you know, I can understand that culturally, we aren't really taught that. We're not really taught to take a stand, right? But we can practice that. we can practice being very firm with our boundaries while being kind, right?
Yeah.
So that's my own story. So when I learned to do that, then I learned I can work with the clients that agree with my standards, and I also will mutually agree to theirs. So there's that dialogue, right?
Yeah.
Before signing a contract, before saying, yes, I would love to be contracted with you, and all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the key there, I mean, thank you for sharing that story. And I think, one of the many lessons of that is the fact that, yes, Ariane, communication is key. And hi, H, thank you for joining us. And the important thing that I've heard from that is being upfront. So, I always say this to the team, right? I always say, let me know in like beforehand. So don't agree to something unless you're sure. And I say this to the team in terms of an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. And it's something that my dad's always told me, because it's even just as simple as when you're able to say it beforehand, and as opposed to not saying it, then later on you then have to fix this whole debacle that could occur because you weren't upfront to begin with. And
you ever had to navigate something like that before?
I suppose in the earlier days of when I first started Kaya Services and EVS, there was a particular project, a web project actually, and it was a person who said yes, they could do X, Y, and Z, and only to know afterwards that they actually couldn't. So that was also, a massive lesson for me, and it costed me something. And so, and it costed me not in the sense of just monetary. It was also something where I have a very uncomfortable conversation with my client, because not only did they not complete the task, but they actually had to go. They didn't even turn up.
Oh goodness gracious!
I mean, that's another episode. I feel, but so I think now there's checks and balances that I do now in order for me to determine whether the person is a suitable team member. And there's also a lot of things now which has fallen a part of my own discernment when growing the team and taking people on board. And so, I think for me, yes, OMG, H, for sure. It's I mean, I said more than OMG, I'm telling you, but something I on Facebook. No, we can't do that on Facebook. But yeah, so it was, a real big lesson for me, but it's okay. The thing is, right, as soon as I realized that this was the case, I said it straight up to the client. I didn't beat around the bush. I didn't try to pretend like it wasn't happening. I actually set it up front to the client as is, like how we're speaking about it. Because, I am also accountable for that. It's not, you can't just put the blame on somebody else. As a leader or just being as a human, you have to be accountable for the decisions that you make. And when you are a leader, you are accountable and responsible for the team. So, whilst I could say, I had this team leader, a team member that had this, I also had the massive learning for me, which is great, anyway, which I'm thankful for, because that enabled me to then put in processes into our recruiting process, just the things that we ask, we're able to now determine those things up front. And literally, it's just like, can you do X, Y, and Z? Okay, show me. And then go through certain exercises. But so, that's one of the things. But I think one of the ones that we were talking about in terms of, healthy boundaries, particularly healthy boundaries, is that yesterday we were saying how culturally they'll be like, you go to your tita's or your tito's home, or even your lola and lola's home, and you come in, and they're like, oh, kumain ka na ba? Have you eaten?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like,
Yes.
And you're thinking, right? Oh my God, I'm so full. And then what do you say? Oh no, I haven't eaten. Or they'll say, oh, do you like to have this cake? And you are super, super full. Yet you say,
And you will say
you want to say
yes.
no, and then all of a sudden this yes comes out of your mouth. Which brings me to the fact that, the healthy boundaries, because if you continue to say yes, even though we actually want to say no, that ends up creating physical, like, it ends up
you feel it. It's like yuck, right?
Well, yeah, you feel that, but also you're eating this cake or you're eating this whole meal, even though you're super, super full. But so we need to also learn to be able to say no, I'm full,
right.
Or can I grab it as a takeaway? Can I take it away and I'll eat it later? I'll bring it as options. Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I think this is something that has occurred in our culture for many, many for a long time, right? For hundreds of years.
Yeah.
But
it's
now,
generational. Yeah.
Correct. And now it's an opportunity for us, especially as mothers, and as titas, as relatives, as friends. We need to recognize that when we invite people or we say to whoever, would you like, whilst we are accommodating as a nation, our Filipinos are amazingly accommodating, but we should also not be offended if somebody says, actually, you know what, I'm full. Because it's okay for people to say no, right?
Yes, exactly. And that's my question here is like, I'm putting here, where do I need to unlearn some cultural habits so that I can be better, right? So I'm going to flash that there, guys. So if you want to offer an answer to that question, feel free to hit us up in the comments below. Okay, so the question is, where do I need to unlearn some of these, like Yona mentioned, these cultural habits where we can't seem to say no because we don't want to offend tito, tita, and then it carries over into our clients, right? Okay.
Yes.
Suji said the classic Lola and Lola example is so true.
It's true. It is. Because you don't want to offend the matanda, right? Like, because we were always told, but the thing is, guys, we all talk about this. We're not offending if the way in which we deliver the message. So if we said to Lola, no, I'm full. Yeah, you are going to be rude and be disrespectful. Right. But you say, oh, Lola, I've actually just eaten. I'm so, so full. Would it be okay if I baon, or can I have it a takeaway, or can I eat it later? Yes. It's not, or you can even say, oh, wow, it looks delicious, but I'm so, so full.
I love that. It looks delicious. You're reframing it there, right then and there.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so important because we still have that's still saying no.
It is.
Yeah, but you're doing it in a respectful manner. So we'll take it back to the work example that you gave, is that if we actually when you take on work, I know for some of my team members, like I know one of my team members who's watching right now, I know that from this time to this time, she's putting her kids for a nap in the afternoon. So that's we've had that conversation, right? So I know that during these times, she's not available, and it's okay. And I love that she's actually communicated that to me, because then I'm not like going, where is she? I messaged her.
Right. Because she communicated it to you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because actually let you know her boundaries. Yeah.
Exactly. So, guys, it's not just about keeping tracks of where you are at the time of day. It's seriously like, if somebody doesn't respond to me and I know that they're in at work, I actually get worried.
Yeah.
Like I get worried. Like, has something happened?
Absolutely. You're concerned for them. You are you're like you have a conscious like agreement with them. Like, where is she? I care about her. That's what you're unconsciously saying as a boss, right? So it's also healthy in terms of the kind of like the boss employee relationship, if we can relate it to corporate, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And again,
Yeah.
We are guys. Don't feel bad if this is letting things come up for you. We're here to help you talk about it, because it's really uncomfortable to bring this up. But once we break through it, I like to always quote Bob Proctor. Once we go through the terror barrier, the barrier of I don't want to talk about it. It's like it's embarrassing, to let's talk about it so that we can create solutions. We can create strategies for creating boundaries. Then suddenly you upgrade the level of that business. You upgrade the culture of that business, of the client and contractor relationship, right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So Anna said the way she would frame it is like, oh Lola, I'd love to help you, and hands are still tied. May I tend to it another time? Exactly.
Nice, Anna. That's nice, Anna.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, it's really about we're okay to say no, and it's just the way in which we deliver the message. And I love that, Anna. Thank you for sharing that that example.
I love it. Thanks,
It is something that we can all learn from. And the thing is, right, everybody needs to hear about this, because there was, we mentioned that generationally we've learned this from our lolas, their our great grandparents, and then our mum and dads. But as parents, we are then able to teach our children and the future generations on how to a no respectfully, and also for us not to be pushing unhealthy boundaries. So, for us to be able to create healthy boundaries with our relationships, whether it's corporate, with our clients, whether you're in a corporate job or you're in the remote field, remote industry, we're still able to create healthy boundaries, and more importantly, creating healthy boundaries with our families. Because if we're able to do that, then we're able to have these healthy relationships with our families, which then goes off to our friends, then to our community, and then it then creates like like an environment where we're able to create boundaries for each other. So I just think it's it's something. Oh, thank you, Mikey. Mikey has joined us. Hello, Mikey.
Thanks, Mikey.
Thank you. I think it's one of those things, Mikey, that it's important for us to also, be a great example for the future generation, especially to the children, because we have to, we can't just talk the talk, but we have to walk the walk, right, Martine?
We do. And that's why we said here, unlearning these cultural habits helps us to upgrade the next generation. So we're not just doing this for, clients. We're really doing this to change the paradigm of, the Filipino perception, right?
Yeah.
So we can, we make jokes about we're mahinhin, we're demure, and those things, right? But those are acceptable in some scenarios. But when your mental health is suffering, when your sleep is suffering because you're working all the time, or you can't say no to things, then it starts to become problematic. And so we really invite everybody to consider this. What are some of the cultural habits of saying, of not being able to say no, of not being able to create healthy boundaries? What are some of these habits that would serve me to unlearn, right? And then what new habits can I install and practice so that I can really, be this disciplined? And guess what? The feminine of discipline is devotion. And it's a beautiful quality, because when you're devoted to something, you have love for it, you have honor and respect for it. So what I like to say is, let's be devoted to our boundaries. Let's be devoted to our boundaries, because then it shows our devotion to our families, our relationship, our
Correct.
clients, the kind of work that we do as well. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's really about that devotion is also showing respect for ourselves. And when
Absolutely.
we show respect for ourselves and people recognize the fact that we respect ourselves, it is one of those things where, we end up respecting each other.
Yes, that's right. It's
That
a
is
ripple
what
effect.
it's a ripple effect, and this is what I'm really hoping that we're able to do, Martine, through
Yes.
this show. And this is exactly the theme of why we started this show. To all of our viewers, thank you so much for tuning in, because this is
Guys.
something that we really love to discuss. Whilst it may be uncomfortable, sometimes you might cringe, but at the same time, it is reality. So this is the time that we like to say, Martine, right? This is a safe space
It is always a safe space, guys.
to discuss this. And this is the reason why we discuss the EVS, because we really want to inspire people to do better and be better, not just as a remote worker or as a virtual assistant, but as a human being, because it will have a ripple effect to our family, our friends, to our community, our country,
our country,
and our clients, right? So I really hope that today was a really healthy topic for us to discuss.
Yes. So Suji, yes, this will be recorded. So make sure that you guys like Empowered Virtual Services Philippines. And then when this live stream ends, you can actually go back to the feed and you can see the replay will be there. So we encourage you to hit save so that you can watch this again from the very beginning.
Yes. And, definitely please share it. Share this to your own communities. And also, if, because Martine and I will be having another show, of course. So there is particular aspects or behavioral or cultural nuances that we like to call it that you'd like for us to discuss or unpack or unravel. Feel free to share that in our comments or reach out to us, because we would love to talk about these things. And because, at the end of the day, we don't talk about this just to make people uncomfortable. We talk about this so that we can see the change that we actually want to see in the world that we live in. Because it's up to us, guys. It's up to us to be able to create the better world that we want. We don't want to sit here and say, oh, I'm going to just wait to see if somebody else can create a better world for me. No, it's up to us. So if there is something that we don't like, we should continue to do those things. We have to behave in the way that we want, everybody else, and it will end up being that ripple effect. Okay, so I'm super, super excited, and thank you again, Martine, for another amazing show. And was there anything else that you wanted to add before we leave?
Yeah, so I just wanted to encourage everybody, if you have ideas, if you have suggestions on, these topics that we don't really talk about freelancing, about being a virtual worker, about having good habits and excellence, please DM us here at the Facebook page so that we can really give value to you. We can talk about things that you want to hear about and get answers and clarity about.
Yes, and perhaps, there might actually be a real life scenario that you're trying to deal with. And you might need another set of ears or another set of eyes to have a look and discuss with. Feel free to reach out to us. And that is something that we like to help people with, because we just want to make sure that we create a healthy culture and healthy boundaries. But again, thank you everybody for watching, and thank you, Martine, again for co-hosting with me on today's episode of Usapang Kahusayan. Thank you, Martine.
Thanks, Sona, and thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.